Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at an Irish Defence Forces DPM uniform, commonly referred to as Paddyflage. Now, before we get into the video, the term DPM usually refers to, the British camel pattern, disruptive pattern material, and you can tell that right away. This doesn't really look like DPM. Now I have a comparison for you here. This is a real, British DPM uniform, and you can see that the patterns are not very similar at all, although there are some similarities, namely the fact that the buttons on these two uniforms are very similar, just the way that they attach. And additionally, there's some similar features that I want to highlight. This loop right here, both uniforms have those two loops. The pockets are different. On the DPM uniform, they're slanted, and here they're pleated and straight up and down. And the material is different as well. This one almost has kind of like a ripstop pattern. If you look closely, you can see the squares here. So that's a pretty cool feature. But yeah, some interesting similarities in the buttons. They're both basically the same style buttons. All right, so let's take a look at this individual uniform. Like I mentioned, two front pockets. Both are pleated. We've got the patch here, Defence Forces Ireland, and here would be the name. We also have the flag and country, and one arm pocket, and this is likely for pens. It's very thin. On the wrists, we have adjustable buttons. We have 3 adjustable buttons, so you can adjust your wrists to be tighter or looser. And as for the color of this, you can see it's a 4-color with like this olive color, brown, black, and light olive. And a very similar camel pattern, I'd say, to this would be the M88 pattern. I mean, just the shape kind of looks similar, but here you have like bits like this. Looks like just regular woodland, like US woodland kind of. So it's more just like a regular woodland or French CCE, but I don't know, from a distance there are some similarities in the pattern here. This particular uniform has a lot of wear on the right shoulder. I'm not sure exactly what this is from. It's in a pretty odd shape to have so much wear. Maybe it got damaged in storage or shipping. I have no idea. I mean, the person I bought this from, this was already disclosed. So it's very interesting to see how this got here. I have no idea. On the right arm, there's no arm, pockets, but there's the same method for closing your wrists. So pretty cool there. As we can see, we have a tag that has a barcode on it and the numbers 1076059, a name and number which are not written on this particular example, and you can see the same type of wear along the collar, so maybe it was just friction that happened. I'm not sure exactly what caused it. If we take a look inside, which we will do shortly, these are very easy to open buttons, by the way. A lot of uniforms, the buttons are kind of hard to open up, but these have really large slants here, as you can see, so it's really easy to button and unbutton this uniform, even with one arm. And while we're at it, we'll open up this front pocket, and there is a little bit of Velcro here as well. Put our hands inside. It can hold like a whole hand. And what's cool about this uniform is that it's the first and only camel pattern Ireland has. There are other versions of this. There's a desert version of this, and a naval version, and an urban version as well. This is probably the most easy to get, even though it's still fairly uncommon. It's such a small country. They have such a small defense force that you're not going to find this in your random thrift store or surplus shop. You've got to probably find one online. So you can see on the inside there's no sort of tag denoting the date of manufacturer. This barcode might do that. I haven't scanned it, so I haven't been able to figure out. See the stitching in here? Yep. But yeah, it's their only camel pattern so far. Actually, I'm wrong, because I think the Rangers, the Irish, like Army Rangers, they use like MTP or multicam or whatever, that modern pattern. But like for the rest of the main average forces, this was their first pattern. Only adopted semi pretty recently too. Before that, it was just, you know, an olive green uniform. And as we flip it over on the back, we can see more of the pattern. So yeah, it's a pretty nice, well-constructed uniform. Other than that friction there, it's a pretty nice copy. Again, I have no idea what that friction could possibly be from, but it's in a random spot. And we'll flip it over one more time. There's probably, you know, I've seen different videos of these, and it looks like some earlier versions have a slightly different cut of the uniform. I've seen versions of this with slanted pockets, but this is the current version, the version that I have. I don't know if it's older or newer. Again, here you go. Thank you for taking a look with me at this uniform. Have a great day.